6-minute cinematic voiceover script. Title: The Night Chernobyl Broke the Soviet Union. On April the 26th, 1986, the Soviet Union suffered more than a nuclear disaster. It suffered a wound that would help destroy an empire. Deep in northern Ukraine stood the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant. It was not just a reactor. It was a symbol of Soviet power, a machine built to prove that communist science had conquered nature itself. For years, it stood as proof that the Soviet future was unstoppable. Thousands trusted it, engineers trusted it, workers trusted it, and above all, the Soviet state trusted its own illusion of control. But on that night, the illusion shattered. It began as a routine safety test. Engineers wanted to check whether backup turbines could provide enough power during an emergency shutdown. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous. At least that was the official belief. But delays pushed the test into the late hours of the night. The experienced day crew had already left. A less prepared night shift took over. As reactor power dropped too low, operators struggled to stabilize it. Warning alarms flashed across the control room. Protocols should have stopped everything. Instead, the operators disabled safety systems and pushed forward. What many did not know was that Reactor 4 carried a fatal design flaw. At low power, the RBMK reactor became dangerously unstable, and the exact conditions for disaster were now in place. At 1:23 in the morning, the final sequence began. Suddenly, power surged. Operators panicked. To stop the reaction, one engineer pressed the AZ-5 emergency shutdown button. It should have saved the reactor. Instead, it triggered catastrophe. Because of a hidden flaw in the control rod design, reactor output exploded upward. Within seconds, pressure became unstoppable. Then came the blast. A massive explosion ripped through the reactor. A second followed instantly after. Concrete shattered, steel tore apart, and Reactor 4 was left open to the sky. For the first time in history, a nuclear reactor core was burning in the open air. Inside the control room, disbelief took hold. This was impossible. The reactor was not supposed to explode. The Soviet manuals said so. The engineers believed it. Even as radiation meters reached deadly levels, supervisors insisted the readings were wrong. The truth was too dangerous to accept. Outside, firefighters rushed to the scene. They were told only that there was a fire. No one warned them about radiation. No one explained that the glowing black blocks scattered across the roof were pieces of the reactor core itself. Some picked them up with bare hands. Their skin burned instantly. Metallic taste filled their mouths. Still, they kept fighting. Most had no idea they were receiving fatal doses of radiation. A few miles away, the city of Pripyat slept peacefully. Nearly 50,000 people remained unaware. Children slept in their beds. Families rested quietly. Some residents noticed an eerie blue light rising above the plant. Beautiful, silent, deadly. But no evacuation came. No warning was given. The state said nothing, and the people trusted silence. Morning arrived. Children played outside beneath radioactive dust. Parents walked to work. Life continued as poison drifted through the air. Then, far away in Sweden, radiation alarms suddenly sounded. At first, officials feared their own reactor was leaking, but the contamination was coming from somewhere else, from the Soviet Union. The truth had crossed the border, and now Moscow could no longer hide it. Only then did the government admit that an accident had happened. But even then, they lied about its scale. 36 hours after the explosion, evacuation finally began. Residents were told they would return in 3 days, bring only essentials, leave everything else behind. Many locked their apartment doors forever. Pripyat became a ghost city overnight, and with it, something else died. Trust. For decades, Soviet citizens had believed the state was always in control. Chernobyl proved otherwise. It exposed the secrecy, denial, and fear holding the system together. Even Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev later admitted that Chernobyl may have been the true beginning of the Soviet collapse, not war, not economic failure, Chernobyl. Because once people see the truth, belief becomes impossible to restore. The reactor burned for 10 days. Hundreds of thousands of liquidators were sent to contain it. When machines failed under radiation, men were sent instead. They climbed onto deadly rooftops and cleared radioactive debris by hand. Many sacrificed their health. Some sacrificed their lives. Their names are mostly forgotten, but their actions saved millions. 5 years later, the Soviet Union collapsed, and today Pripyat still stands frozen in silence.